Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of When Did I Last Watch That? And, well, would I upgrade that to 4K? So this is like a twofold kind of a video looking at a shelf in the collection. That shelf there. So let's delve into those products. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Yes, so I've done a few episodes of this now, and it's kind of evolved into looking at when I last watched a film and asking myself whether it needs an upgrade to 4K for me based upon when I last watched it, etc, etc. I've come to realise that, you know, as I've upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray over the years, which was quite a long time ago, a lot of films have gone unwatched on the Blu-ray format. I haven't watched them since the day of DVD, which then begs the question, did I even need to upgrade it from DVD, to Blu-ray? Talking about on Blu-ray. I haven't watched it since the day of DVD. I haven't watched the Blu-rays. I know what I'm saying. I don't know if I said that right or not, but you get the gist of what I'm saying, right? So part of this is because of the changes in my collecting habits and the fact that I come to realise, well, actually, I'm going through the whole process yet again of upgrading. Every time a 4K comes out, I'm buying the bloody 4K of a Blu-ray that I've already got. And in some cases, a Blu-ray that I haven't watched the film on Blu-ray since the day of DVD. So there I am throwing good money after bad money. Or am I throwing bad money after good money? I don't know, whichever way you want to look at it. Either way, money's being wasted somewhere, and that's starting to bug me big time. So I've got a stack of films here, just off camera. Can't see it, it's to the side. It's from the shelf behind me up there. I'm doing these randomly as shelves, just whatever comes. Pick one from here, one from there. And yeah, so we're doing that one. So let us begin. Let's get into these films, discuss when I last watched the film, and whether I would upgrade it to 4K or not. Yeah, so on the last video I'd done of these, I think there was only 2 titles on that shelf that I said I would upgrade. It's great. I'm making a list, checking it twice, and I'll upgrade if I've been naughty or nice. But no, yeah, I'm making a list as I go along of films that I would upgrade. That if ever it came to it, I would say, yeah, I'll pick up the 4K. Otherwise, it's a no-no. So let's begin. Let's take a look at the top. So first up, we have this film here, starring Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren's in it. That's a good start. And Frank Grillo. I quite like Frank Grillo. Okay. And it's called Operation Seawolf. And it is a submarine film. Last mission to win the war. Now, I like submarine films. I do. However, I haven't watched this movie. I picked it up in a CEX, as you can see. How much did I pay for it? It was a £5. I paid £5 for it. I still got a receipt there, and I think this was down in Hawley. I want to say it was in Hawley. Operation Seawolf, Horsham. It's where my son lives, down in Horsham. I remember we all went to have something to eat in the Weatherspoons, and I said, yeah, CEX is just across the way. And I said to everyone, I said, oh, I'm just going off to the toilet. I'm going off to the toilet. And I disappeared to the toilet, but my younger son clocked me walking into CEX. He said, is that Dad? Is that Dad heading to CEX out there? It was indeed. But yeah, so I haven't watched that. I'm going to put that to one side because I'm going to give that a watch. But no, I doubt. No, that one, if a 4K came, which is doubtful, unlikely, but you never know these days, you know, then no, I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't upgrade it. Next up, this was a £1 pickup, Poundland, or £2, I don't know. One for the money. It's gone unwatched. And this is the other silly thing, is that, you know, I was doing all these Blu-ray hunts and things like that. I haven't seen that film. I can justify it. It's £1. It's £2. I can justify it. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee, blah, 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 blah. On the shelf, unwatched, and I'm not even going to put it on the ground to watch at this stage, otherwise I'm going to end up with a pile of unwatched films like this, and that'll do my nutting. I just want to pick a few to watch for now, for this moment in time. Next up we have, and this was a fiver, the original 1976 version of the Omen. Now, has this got a 4K release? I'm not sure, but as good a film as it is, I'll stick with this Blu-ray edition. And I'll be honest, I haven't watched it on Blu-ray. I never had it on DVD, so it wasn't an upgrade. It was just one of these ones that I picked up in like, oh, I haven't got that. It's not a bad film. Let's get it. But I haven't watched it. I never had it on VHS either back in the day, so it hasn't been one that I've upgraded through and through. But yeah, it's not one that I would pick up a 4K on, whether if a 4K came. Yeah, that's just the Omen. This one's still sealed and unwatched. Overdrive. Now, it's possible, I think with this one, I may have put this in my calendar collection, and it was one that didn't actually go. One that I thought, do you know what, I'm going to keep hold of that. I'm going to watch it and see if it's any good. Scott Eastwood. I'm looking at it now and wondering why I would have kept it. I don't know. It's one that, yeah. But again, I'm not going to put that into a must-watch fast pile. And this is a bootleg anyway, old dad's, so it doesn't count. I thought it was funny though. So that doesn't count. So I watched that when it came out and bootlegged it. Okay, box set now. Police Academy. Now, to be honest, I only really bought this box set for the very first Police Academy movie, which is a great film. I grew up on these films. I really like the films. I remember going to cinema to see a lot of them. I think my last cinema trip possibly would have been City Under Siege, Police Academy 6. There's 7 of them. I remember most definitely seeing Assignment Miami Beach at the cinema, the scene with the shark and Tackleberry and his 44 Magnum and the shark, you know. I watched Police Academy 1 probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when I picked this box set up. I then proceeded to watch Police Academy 2 and just couldn't do it. I couldn't get into it. But, you know, at some point I will rewatch them. I've certainly not watched them since the day of, I want to say some of these, probably not since the day of VHS, when I was much, much younger. Yeah. But the first one's a classic. First one's always ripe for a rewatch. It's a very good film. But when I'll get to the others, who knows? Upgrade-wise, Police Academy 4K, if a Police Academy 4K was ever to come. Yeah, I know that a lot of these are not going to get 4K up. Well, you never know, do you? They're trying to rinse us for all the money we can get, or they can get. So you never know if they do a Police Academy 4K. But no, the Blu-ray's fine. I'm not going to laugh anymore because all the pictures are a bit nicer. Sod that. Nicolas Cage, Pay the Ghost. Another cheap pickup. I like Nicolas Cage, but I ain't watched it. I ain't watched it, seriously. I'm not doing well. I'm embarrassing myself with these. Steven Spielberg production, Tobe Hooper film. Tobe Hooper, puppet for Spielberg on this one. Poltergeist. 4K. I suppose it's the type that would sort of film that would get a 4K. I suppose it's big enough. It may have a 4K. I don't know. I'm edging to the side of no. Can't say I've seen one, but I could be wrong. So then that begs the question as to whether I would pick up as a 4K. No, I wouldn't. I've not watched the film in a long time. Not on Blu-ray. So, yeah, definite no. Next. Okay, I haven't watched this for some time. I have watched it on Blu-ray. I've watched it a few times. And it is a Michael Bay film. And maybe one of his kind of lesser Bay films in a sense. Like, not so bombastic and, you know, action-packed. you know, explosions and all that. And it is Pain and Gain. Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne Johnson. Also stars Anthony Mackie. And you know, yeah, I haven't watched it for a few years, most definitely. But I really like this film. I think it's a great, great film. And I'm going to put it down for a rewatch. 4K? I don't think that needs a 4K. Most definitely not. Still watching the same film, regardless. Next up is The Princess Bride. And I've not watched since the day of DVD. It's a nice cover, though. I like the cover. 4K. I'm doing good. I'm doing really... This is like really great to know that I'm not going to... Wouldn't pick these films up in 4K. Okay, now I've got a film called Passchendaele, right? And I can remember my last watch of this. And this was, I want to say, about 10 years ago. Okay. And I remember it was in the place I lived in before here. My wife, her son, her youngest son was home. He was a teenager at the time. And I sat down and watched this film in the front room. He was there. He sat the whole way through it. But I felt as though he I don't know if he felt obliged to sit there and watch the film or something. I could sense his boredom. I know it's not his sort of a film. I know that, you know, he wouldn't ever choose to watch something akin to this. And I don't get why that's all I remember from it. I remember, why was he there sat watching this film when it's not his cup of tea? You know, Fast and Furious or something like that's more his cup of tea. But he sat and watched it. Now this film here, it stars Paul Gross, and I believe it's directed by Paul Gross as well. Now Paul Gross played Benton Fraser in the TV series Due South, the one about the Canadian Mountie in Chicago, if it was something you ever saw, with his husky wolf type dog called Diefenbaker. Yeah, and it starred him. Flanders 1917. 16 days of fighting, 5,000 soldiers lost their lives. This is their story. It's kind of small scale World War One film. It's not big production or anything like that. But that's what I remember of it. That incident. Yeah, about 10 years ago. 4K? No. Next up. Maggie Q. Look at it. I mean, it's a good cast, okay? Michael Keaton, Maggie Q, Samuel Jackson. The Protege. The Protege. The Protege. The Protege. I think I've seen someone call it something like that. They couldn't say Protege. They couldn't read that as being Protege. I can't remember who it was. But there we go. Made for Revenge. I've not watched it. Blind Buy. So naughty. I'm going to put that down as a watch. As a potential watch. I'm expecting it to be rubbish. But it's got a good cast. Next up. Now, I bought this a couple of times. I had it. I never watched it when it came out. Okay. I purposely didn't for some reason. I don't know why. It took me a fair few years to watch it. I've picked it up twice because the second time was for the lenticular slip, so I got rid of the one that came before that. Both cheap pickups, CEX cheap pickups, and it is Pompeii. And I watched it, and you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was actually pretty damn good. It stars Kit Harington, doesn't it, from Game of Thrones fame. But yeah, nice thingy on that. You know, and I would say that, you know, it's quite a big special effects movie. I'm pretty sure that it would look pretty grand on 4K, you know, with all the colours and whatnot and thingy. It could probably benefit from that kind of a release. So that begs the question, would I upgrade it to 4K? This is a funny one, really, because out of all the films I've picked thus far, this is the one that I would say could benefit from it, like I said. I would have to watch it again I'd have to watch it again to see whether it's worthy of a 4K. But then in watching it, do I negate the need to get a 4K? Because I wouldn't watch this film until, I mean, I may watch it again, but if I considered a 4K, I wouldn't watch it now thinking, oh, would I pick up a 4K? What would happen is a 4K would have to be announced. And then I would say, okay, all right, that's intriguing. Shall I, let's try watching it. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again, see if it's worthy of a 4K. You know, imagine it through the eyes of a 4K. And then I'd say, well, I've just watched it. So when am I going to watch it again? What, 5 years down the line? 10 years down the line? Kind of negates the point of picking up the 4K for it. It's great, isn't it? Thinking like that is, that mindset really is a money saver. It certainly is. I like it a lot. But yeah, so I think I'd watch it again. And then say, no, because I've just watched it. That being said, I don't know if there's a 4K for that or not. So if I know there's a 4K for something, I'll say, yeah, there's a 4K for this, but no. Next up, we have the Poseidon Adventure. The original Poseidon Adventure, not Poseidon. I think inside I have crazy, mental. I've got 3 versions of the Poseidon Adventure in here. So I've got the Blu-ray. I've got my DVD just floating, which is when I had it on DVD. So I've upgraded it. I've not watched it on an upgrade. I've not watched it on Blu-ray since I upgraded. I didn't pay full price for it. It was a cheaper one, CEX. But I also have here another copy of it, which was free with the Sun newspaper back in the day. There we go. I got the film 3 times. But no, I wouldn't upgrade the Poseidon Adventure. As good as a film as it is, I wouldn't watch it enough to get a 4K. Okay, next one. And still my DVD is floating. A 2-disc DVD set is floating around in here as well, inside the box. Just loose. I couldn't really give a toss if they're loose or not. And it is for Poseidon, the remake version. Kurt Russell is in this. Richard Dreyfuss, as I recall. Is it Matt? It's not Matt Lucas, is it? It's no, Matt Lucas is the thingy one. Kurt Russell, Josh Lucas, Matt Lucas. What am I saying? Josh Lucas is in it. Whatever happened to him? You know, it's a special effects film, well, some of it anyway. Probably look nice on 4K. Would I? Again, I haven't watched this, I don't think. I've probably watched it once, a long time ago when I picked it up on Blu-ray, and that's it. I like going on cruises, so I would probably be inclined to watch it again soon, actually. Upgrade-wise, again, I'd have to watch it again and make that decision. You know, I think a standard, and with Pompeii, again, you know, I want to step away from buying the sort of special collector's edition versions, but I think there would be a certain temptation for me if it was a nice collector's edition version of them rather than a standard 4K. But yeah, I'd have to watch again. Pearl Harbor. Again, I could see this. Has it got a 4K, this one? I don't know. It may well have. Saying that, is it a Disney film? Is it a Touchstone? I think it is, so it may not have had that treatment. But I reckon this would look good on 4K, this film. That being said, no. No, I wouldn't. I watched it several years back, probably about 5 years back. On Blu-ray. Obviously not since. And then we have Promising Young Woman. Still sealed, look at that. So that tells you. I bought this when it came out. I watched the film prior to that, obviously. It's not a blind buy. I thought it was a very good film. Maybe not so much the ending. This girl here, this actress, played Sally Sparrow in Doctor Who. Blink. She was in Blink, wasn't it? It was the first episode with the Weeping Angels, I believe. David Tennant, yeah. Blink, Sally Sparrow. Thought she'd have made a good Doctor Who companion. That being said, yeah, and this is a really nasty thing to say, really evil thing to say, I don't think she's aged very well at all. I think there's, yeah, it fits in this film where she looks horrendous. Like, you know, what's happened to you? You were quite attractive in Doctor Who back in the day, but now you've, like, I don't know. There we go. I know that's a horrible thing. That's horrible. There we go. And then we have Joe Dante's original classic, Piranha. Piranha. I was watching something the other day and Joe Dante's name came up as a director on it. And I cannot remember for the life of me. Do you know what it was? Do you know what he... I'm sure... Was it Joe Dante? I'm sure, right? That... I may be mistaken. I'm sure he directed an episode of that. Police Squad. I'm sure his name came up as a director. Anyway, Piranha. I like film. I like my creature feature type films. I like this sort of a movie. I really do. I haven't watched it on Blu-ray. I haven't watched the Blu-ray of it. Would I upgrade it? Probably not. Probably not. I'll be happy with that. Then we have Piranha 2 this morning. I watched this when it came out, when this was released. Obviously, this is directed by James Cameron. Yeah, directed by James Cameron. This is from 88 Films, or yes, from 88 Films, which is always a good. I like 88 Films. I think 88 Films is a good release company. You know, you get a good price, you get a nice slip, some of them better than others. You get reversible artwork, as you can see there. You get a poster or a booklet or art cards, whatever it may be, and you know, and yeah, for a decent price. If all Blu-ray releases were done like this, I think it'd be a great world. Then we have the newer version, Piranha 3D. Now, I watched this not too long ago. I watched it. I'll be honest, I watched it around the time that came out. I revisited this one. And it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with the film. I wouldn't, however, upgrade it. I wouldn't consider it a film that I would upgrade. I'm fine with it as it is there. Then we have Piranha 3D, the sequel. I'm going to put that down to watch. I wouldn't upgrade it, no, but I haven't watched it for a long time. I didn't get round to watching it after that one, which is when I should have watched it and probably had every intention to. I just didn't. And we have Pan's Labyrinth. £3 I picked that up for. Okay, visually fantastic. You know, it's a good film. I wouldn't upgrade it. I'm fine with it as it is. I watched it when I picked that up, however many years ago that was. The Proposal, and I've probably watched this once in the past 10 years, and that's that far back. You know, this was one of those early day of Blu-ray type of films. I think Blu-ray had probably just come about, not been about for long, and then this film is one of those early purchases for me. I like Sandra Bullock, I like Ryan Reynolds. I think the film is fine, it's funny, it's amusing, it's a decent watch. Bootleg of Pinocchio. Bootlegs, okay? I still get some bootlegs, I do, of films. Recent one being The Gorge, which I don't regret getting on bootleg. I've got a lot of bootlegs I do not regret having got. I can't say that for this. Some I do regret. There we go. Kevin Costner, Perfect World. Clint Eastwood directed. Kevin Costner stars. Laura Dern stars in it. I remember when this first came out, I watched it. I thought it was a great film. I really did. And then few years ago, you know, sort of maybe 2-3 years ago, Germany, searching Germany, they had this film. I had to get it. I watched it then. I hadn't seen it since they had DVD prior to that. Yeah, it's a solid film. Pam Grier is Coffee. Now, I've seen these films. I'm going to do these both together. So I picked these up in CEX a while back. Pam Grier, Foxy Brown, Pam Grier, Coffee. Blaxploitation, 70s kind of era. Those sort of films from back then. Very similar sort of a film in what they do. Yeah, I saw them back in the day. I've not watched them on either of these releases. They're from Arrow. You know, they come with booklet and reversible art. Booklet and reversible art. But yeah, I haven't watched them. Another one from Germany, Nicolas Cage. Still sealed. I had watched it before. I watched it when it came out, which in the grand scheme of things wasn't that long ago. 5 years, maybe 6 years or something like that. Although it could be longer. Time does fly. But, you know, it's that era of Nick Cage where he was just knocking out dross, which I suppose he still does to a degree. But he's had a little bit of a revival, a renaissance. And I watched it when it came out. In this country, UK, it's probably just a DVD release, so I would have hunted it down and got it from Germany. I think I wouldn't upgrade that to 4K. Sorry, that's what I meant to be saying. Coffees, I wouldn't. Yeah, the Pam Griers, fine as they are, wouldn't upgrade to 4K. I'm opening this one up and having a look. No reversible art. That's what I'm looking for. So Primal, yeah. Wouldn't upgrade it, obviously. Another Nick Cage sealed one. Christ, 3 sealed Nick Cage films on this shelf. Stolen, Primal, and Ghosts of whatever it's called. Stolen. £2. Never seen it. I don't think I've seen it. 12 Hours, $10 million, One Kidnapped Daughter. Director Expendables 3. Simon West, Con Air. Director, you know, he's a decent director, and he directed the first Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider film. Was it the second one? I don't know. One of them. Cage's finest performance in almost a decade. Is that to be believed? I'm going to put that in the watch pile. I'm putting that in the watch pile. Okay, so we're getting into a bit of an interesting territory now. We'll see why. Okay, so here we have Death Proof and... Okay, no, Death Proof. We have Death Proof there, which is, you know, part of the Grindhouse set of films. Yeah, that's Planet Terror and Death Proof there in the same case. Why is the Death Proof in here longer than this Death Proof, or is this Death Proof longer than this Death Proof? I know there was runtime differences. Anyway, that's probably why I've kept them. I really like Planet Terror, and I really need to give Death Proof a watch again. I'm on the fence about would I upgrade Grindhouse itself to 4K. I'd be tempted with that one. There was a certain temptation with that, with the Grindhouse part of it, the two together. There's a certain temptation, but it's based upon whether they're the theatrical or the extended cuts. Cause I think they're slightly longer when they were alone, if that makes sense. I'm not sure. Is there an individual release of Planet Terror? I don't know. I'm sure I got a steelbook for them. Now this is where we get into the territory of thingy. So, Kill Bill 1 and 2. I've actually got a steelbook with both of these in. And these have, as you're watching this, either... Now, as this is airing, I don't think these are out yet. But I think their 4K is fast approaching. And I made the decision to not upgrade. I made a decision to not upgrade them to 4K, based upon the fact that I've got them twice anyway, but yet I've not watched them on the Blu-ray format. I've got Kill Bill Volume 2 there, the sort of Japanese or whatever Asian version, which is probably uncut. I've got Kill Bill Volume 1 the same as well. That's Volume 2's discs 1 and 2. Yeah, but yeah, I've not watched them. So I said no to the upgrade based upon that. I'm not going to go into just buying it for a steelbook. And the same decision was made for the Pam Grier one, which I don't know where it is. It's funny, I was saying, oh, is there an individual release of Planet Terror? I've answered the question myself. Yes, there is, and I've got it there. So let's put that with Death Proof. Yeah, so yeah. Then we have Django Unchained. I've not watched that. I've probably watched it once on Blu-ray. I don't think I would upgrade that. The Hateful Eight. I've got a steelbook of this as well. I think it's a Blu-ray steelbook. Is it a Blu-ray or is it 4K? I don't know. I'd have to check that out. I'm inclined to say it's a Blu-ray steelbook. I think it's a great film. You know, I think it's a really good film. A good Tarantino film. One of my favourites. That, Inglourious Bastards as well. I would consider an upgrade of that. If it's already out as a 4K, then no, I wouldn't. I know that's kind of contradictory, isn't it? If it's a 4K, if the film's already come out on 4K and I haven't got it on 4K, then I obviously didn't feel the need to have it on 4K. But looking at it now, with looking at it, if it came out, that's a mind. That's like a real screw up of my mind, because it's such a contradictory statement. I'm not going to list that as one that I would consider upgrading. No way. No, I'm going to go no. Did this come out as a 4K when it was released? Very probably. Once upon a time in Hollywood, you probably had the Blu-ray 4K option. I chose the Blu-ray option. Not one of Tarantino's best films. I really do like Brad Pitt in it. I think he's great. There's some great scenes, but overall, not the greatest of Tarantino films. Now, you will see that I didn't show, you may be saying, well, where's Pulp Fiction? Where's Reservoir Dogs? Where's Inglourious Bastards? Those I have got on 4K. Reservoir Dogs look great in 4K. I can't deny that. I can't say it didn't. It really did. Pulp Fiction was okay. It looked great in 4K. I went for you had a steelbook come out. You had the Amaray. I went for the Amaray release because I far preferred the artwork on the Amaray. Yeah, so yeah, but that was when I was like upgrading. My logic was to upgrade. Stupid logic, but there we go. Anyway, last two films here. And no, I wouldn't, and I've not watched them on Blu-ray. It's the two Alan Quatermain films with Sharon Stone in. Richard Chamberlain, Sharon Stone. Cheap, like kind of Indiana Jones rip-off type of movies. Although Alan Quatermain is obviously a literary character from time gone by. But no, HD remastered these are, so I've not watched them. I'm guessing they're decent pictures. Definitely not film upgrade material. But yeah, so that's that shelf done. And I'll be honest, was there anything I actually said yes I would upgrade other than maybe Grindhouse? That was it. I can't think of any others. I know I mentioned Poseidon and Pompeii, but I'd have to rewatch them at the point of the announcement of a 4K, prior to ordering it, to then negate the need to order it, because I probably wouldn't watch the 4K again for a bloody decade, at which point pick up then when it's far cheaper. But anyway, so there we go. I'm at the end of that shelf. When did I last watch that? Give it a couple of weeks. I'll do another shelf if you so wish. Or I will do another shelf. You know, chances are I've probably filmed it by the time this one airs anyway. Yeah, but I'm not in no rush. But yeah, so I've got I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 films in a watch pile down there. Operation Seawolf, Pain and Gain, The Protege, Piranha 3DD, and Nick Cage. Can't get my words out. Nick Cage in Stolen, his best performance in a decade, apparently. Yeah, okay. Take that with a pinch of salt. Well, Nick Cage does give quite a decent performance in a lot of what he does. You know, how often does he actually phone it in? I suppose there was a period of time when he did, but he usually does something worthwhile watching in his, you know, in his craft, shall we say. But anyway, so that's it. That's me done. I'll see you on the next one sometime. Take care. Drop a comment down below. I will reply. See you soon.